Hey Space Rangers, welcome back to Getting Sciencey with Miss Gurley. So today we are going to talk about non-renewable energy sources. And I want to focus on this word non-renewable. Non-renewable simply means that once it's gone, it's gone. Once we've used it, it's gone. We cannot make more. So that's really going to be our main focus from the day. We're going to talk about 3 different types of non-renewable energy sources, and then we're going to do a lab. You're going to meet my new lab partner, and we're going to get going and get sciencey with Miss Gurley. So let's pin that up there so we don't forget what we're learning about. Non-renewable energy sources. Once they're gone, they're gone. We've used them, they're gone. So the main form of non-renewable energy sources is fossil fuels. Fossil fuels. A fossil fuel is materials that are formed from ancient plants and animals that have been decayed underground. Decay just means they have broken down underground and they have turned into fossil fuels. They are dead plants and animals from a long, long time ago that have been buried in the ground, have died on the ground, and have broken down and have created fossil fuels. Fossil fuels. Feels important enough to go on the board, right? Fossil fuels. Boom. Fossil fuels. So the 3 main forms are natural gas, coal, and petroleum. I know what natural gas is. Natural gas, huh? Right? Yeah, natural gas comes up from the ground, comes from us, comes from animals, natural gas. I know what coal is. Santa brought my brother that once when he was bad. Yeah, coal. We burn coal. It runs trains, it runs buildings, it generates heat, that heat transfer of energy. Remember that from last week? Yeah, I thought so. Coal creates heat, natural gas is heat, but I said something, it was a really long scientific word, but we're getting sciencey with Miss Gurley, so we should look back at that word. That third one, we have natural gas, we have coal, and we have petroleum. And petroleum is going to be the main non-renewable energy source that we focus on today. Petroleum is just a fancy smancy scientific word for oil. Oil is going to run our machines. It runs our world. It runs our cars. It runs our trains. It runs our planes. And it runs our automobiles. It runs all of these things. Petroleum is oil. Oil, it is a fancy word for oil. Again, this scientific word feels important enough to put it on the board. A type of fossil fuel is petroleum. So fossil fuels, once again, coal, natural gas, petroleum. And petroleum is oil. And where do we find oil? Coal's a rock, right? So we probably can just pick it up off the ground. Then natural gas. We generate that every day, right? Natural gas, that is just naturally comes up out of the ground. Yeah, so where find oil? Huh. That sounds a lot like our scientific question of the day. How do we find oil? We find oil in the ground, but how? We don't just magically stick a stick in the ground and we go, duh, found it. No, but we are going to do a lab today on exactly how they find oil. So we are going to go over the materials that we need. We're going to do the lab. We're going to meet our new lab partner, and we are going to go get sciencey and come back here to review what fossil fuels and petroleum are. So make sure you've written those down in your scientific brains. Let's go talk about those materials. All right. Our materials have been gathered. We are ready to do some science. We have four main materials for the day. 4 main materials for today, which are a wooden spoon. Any kind of spoon will do. Stick, spoon, something you can poke dirt with. Then a balloon. No air. Unblown up balloon. You're gonna have to put water in it. So no air, not popped. Brand new balloon, okay? A bucket of dirt. I stole it from the playground. Don't tell the principal. And right on cue, the 4th most important part of our lab today is your lab partner. You guys can use a human if you'd like, but I want to use my booby. Here, there you go. My lab partner for the day. You are going to need 2 people to complete this lab. So let's get going to the scientific kitchen of science into our lab. All right, we are in the scientific kitchen of science with our balloon. You're gonna bring your balloon, and I want you to fill that balloon with water, but I don't want it to be huge. I don't want it to pop. I don't want it to be too small, but I want it to be a good size so that we can discover it. So I'm gonna put that around the faucet. Maybe if I try hard enough. Let's see, put it around the faucet. There we go. I'm gonna fill it up just a little bit. That's good. So, come on. I gotta get off. There we go. So it's a little smaller than a baseball, but that's about how big I want. You're gonna tie it off, make sure that water doesn't come off, and you are going to make sure that there we go, won't come loose. Now I have a balloon full of water, and this is going to act as the oil, the petroleum, that is underneath the ground. So this is what this is gonna represent. We're gonna put this into our bucket of dirt, and we're gonna figure out if our partner can discover it just by using science. So I'm gonna go back and find my lab partner and see what we can figure out. All right, so I have my balloon of petroleum. I have my jar of dirt that is going to act, or jar of dirt. I have my bucket of dirt that is going to act as the land in which the oil is trapped in. And I'm gonna need a spoon to dig a hole, and then we're gonna use it in a second. So I'm gonna take my sand bucket of sand. Why can't I remember that? And I'm gonna dig a little hole, but I'm gonna make sure that my partner isn't paying attention because I'm trying to hide it from them. I want them to try and discover where the hole is, or where the balloon is. So I'm gonna hide it just over here. But I'm gonna get it deep enough in here. I will move the camera in just a second so you can see what I'm doing. So that the balloon is hidden completely. I'm gonna put the balloon in here, there we go. Because we can't see oil from the top, right? All right, there we go, perfect. So I have hidden the balloon in the dirt. Can't see the balloon. If you guys hadn't just seen me bury it, you might not know anywhere, you might not know where it is at all. Ooh, don't fall. So you might not know where it is at all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a prediction of where my partner put their balloon. I'm gonna say he probably put his, he put his in the center. What do you think his prediction is? Well, let's go find out. I predict that you put the balloon in your pocket where the treats are. Right, those are great predictions. So now he has given me his bucket. I know it looks like the same bucket, but we only had 2 buckets. So he has given me his bucket. He told me that I need to poke around and find where the petroleum is. And this is exactly what scientists would do. They use sound energy, go over the surface of the land to find where there were abnormalities in the sound. An abnormality is just something that's different. So if I bopped on this book, but I bopped on this table, notice how they're different sounds? That could be an abnormality. If ground usually sounds like that, and then something so all of a sudden sounded like that, they figure they might want to dig there. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna, oh, I think I found the balloon. Notice how it's way quieter? Okay, so now I'm gonna dig through, and I think I have found the balloon, so I'm gonna take the other end of my stick and I'm gonna, oh, I definitely found it. See how bouncy it is? I've also unearthed it. But you hear the sound difference? This is exactly how they find oil underground. And what could happen to this balloon if I poked it too hard? Good, it could pop. So even if they stuck a big drill down into the ground, and if they dug right here, just dirt. If they dug right here, it's just dirt. If they dug right here, it's just dirt. But if they dug right here, oh! We found the balloon. Perfect. So you can also see it seeping into the soil here. It would be a different color. It would be, the thing would come up with different colors. This is exactly how they would find petroleum in this is exactly how they would find petroleum in nature. So, oh, we keep finding more petroleum. All right, so let's see if your hypothesis is correct, and let's go review our vocabulary words for the day. All right, just to wrap things up, we talked about non-renewable energy sources today. Non-renewable, reminder, means that once it's gone, which means that fossil fuels, once they're gone, which does include coal, natural gases, and petroleum. We got those fossil fuels, which are made up of decaying and dead plants and animals in the ground. And petroleum is just our fancy smancy word for oil. We figured out how do we find oil, and we found tons of oil today. How do we find oil? All that scientists do is drill and bat on the ground, to use sound energy, to use mechanical energy to find anything that's under the ground. So I want to thank, come here. I want to thank my lab partner for the day. He did so good. Hi. And thank you for getting sciencey with Miss Gurley. Go do your homework.